It's a pleasure to be here today with one of our valued wild leaders, Sunny Singh. Sunny rejoined the firm about a year ago as a co-chair of our world-renowned Restructuring Department and also as a member of the firm's management committee. Sunny, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you for having me, Barry.
So I'd like to start by talking a little bit about your practice and going back to when you were first starting out. Why did you gravitate towards restructuring?
So I got attracted to restructuring really early in my career as a law student. I was taking a law class of restructuring with a Professor Resnick, who's very popular in the field and renowned. And the subject matter was fantastic. I was really gravitating towards it. And I really enjoyed the fact that it is, both litigation and corporate and a mix of everything. It's really a generalist practice. I could be litigating in the morning in court, and in the afternoon, I could be, working on an M&A transaction. So I really always enjoyed the diversity of the practice, and that was what attracted me to it right out of the gate.
And you couldn't have picked a better place than Weil to start that practice. What is a market development or trend that you're seeing with clients over the past year or so?
So I'd say it's probably been longer than the past year or so, and especially when you compare it to the earlier part of my career. We've really gone from a lot of in-court restructuring early in my career when I learned to, administer cases through Chapter 11, before the bankruptcy court, to now a lot of our practice is out of court. And I think there's a number of reasons for that, but really the sophistication of the parties involved. There's a lot of repeat players, creditors, private equity, other investors who understand the process, understand what could happen in court, and therefore will negotiate their way sort of out of that. The private credit, boom recently has made a big change. You've got only sometimes two or three or even just one lender in a capital stack, and so you don't necessarily need to go in court. And of course, a topic that's been talked about a lot, LMEs,
That's
liability.
just a fancy term for out of court restructuring,
That
as I
is, that's
understand it.
very true. Very true. Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. As I mentioned in the intro, you rejoined Weil after leading the restructuring group at another top global law firm. What was it that brought you back home?
So at the end of the day, it was actually a really easy decision for me to come back. I mean, one, all my friends and people are here, but really our restructuring practice, and as you say, world renowned. I mean, it really is just a wonderful place to work. We are on cutting edge issues. We're working on the biggest matters, and it's not just our restructuring group. It's really the entire firm. If you think about our corporate lawyers, our litigators, our tax people, they've been doing this their entire career. So to be able to plug them in seamlessly is just invaluable to clients.
Well, that was clearly Harvey's vision, and I'm glad to see that it is come to fruition. And congratulations on the homecoming. We are certainly thrilled to have you back. In your practice, you encounter lawyers from every top law firm on a regular basis. What would you tell a client or even a potential lateral partner differentiates Weil? That is, what's our special sauce?
I think there's probably a couple of things. I mean, one, as I mentioned, it's the ability to bring the entire firm and its resources and experience to matters. I mean, we have, people that have lived and breathed restructuring for their entire career, even though they may not be restructuring lawyers. We've got the other thing I would say is, we are business partners in law. We really think about the issues with our clients. We really think about not just what's the right academic result, but what's the practical result and how can we help, achieve that. Our senior lawyers, we really do work, right? We're not
Yes,
just
absolutely.
right. We're not giving, instructions from a command center. We are, in the trenches with you. That's how I was trained. That's how my
That's how we were all
mentors.
trained, and
Yeah,
that's
right.
and that's what that is part of our special sauce
That's
for
part of our
sure.
special sauce for sure, the experience that you have, and the clients really notice that. And then our next generation partners and associates are, second to none. We take a lot of time and pride in mentoring. And people mentored me, so I feel like I need to pay it forward. It's something I enjoy to do and really get that type of experience all the way down to our attorneys.
Well, that for sure is a winning pitch and one that would sell me and one that I've been trying to sell for a long time. As a newer department head, what have you learned about being in broader firm management? Have there been any surprises?
There have been a ton of surprises. It's been all good though. I have really enjoyed understanding more the business of law through the leadership positions. I've always enjoyed that on my work, with working with clients. I really enjoy learning about their businesses, and now to really focus on our law firm. And I think some of the best parts that I've seen is just how much people deeply care about this place, and really take the time and effort and energy to make sure it's not only going to be successful now, but for forever, for down the future.
Absolutely. We're stewards for the future.
Yep.
All very, very true. And those are things that have kept me at this for a long, long time. I'd like to round out today's discussion with asking you something a little bit more open ended, which is who is a leader outside of the legal industry that you admire and why?
I think there's probably a couple I could say, but at the end of the day, they have a number of characteristics that I find very valuable and try to follow. Relentless work ethic, really just putting the work and focus and putting the time and effort. Sort of practice is more important than the game, sometimes they say. Highest moral standard, really doing it in a way that you feel good about yourself and you feel good about how you're approaching the situation. And at the end of the day, there's probably a number of people that do that, but I learned a lot of that from my dad. He had a bunch of different businesses. He followed his gut when it wasn't always the popular choice, and being able to do that. Others, I love sports, so Michael Jordan, Barack Obama, those are probably others that have those characteristics in my view.
Terrific. We're going to change it up now a little bit. Maybe have a little bit of fun and ask some quick fire questions and get your off the cuff reaction to them. Okay. So, how do you like to start each day?
Probably a little bit of a workout, either at the gym or something aerobic, followed by breakfast with my kids before school.
Okay. Well, what's your favorite snack?
Anything with peanut butter.
What's your go-to health wellness activity in the
Uh,
gym?
yeah, in the gym. Well, in the gym, but also tennis. I've actually picked up tennis the last couple of years. It's a lot of fun.
Soon you'll be playing golf.
Yeah,
What's the last movie you watched on a plane?
I watched A Star Is Born.
What was your favorite subject in high school?
I was actually really gravitating towards law right out of the gate. So history and anything legal, was something that attracted me.
What's your peak time of day?
Morning for sure.
Okay, that seems to be a common answer amongst many. Name a habit or attribute that drives your friends and loved ones crazy.
So I drive my family crazy with this, but when we're sitting down to watch a movie or a show on Netflix, I will scroll through the coming attractions and watch each of them, and sometimes that'll be like an hour, and that'll be it.
What's the last TV show that you binge watched?
Breaking Bad, a number of times.
Okay. Name an upcoming vacation or trip that you're looking forward to.
So we have finally agreed to take my kids to Disney, and we're doing that soon. I don't know if I'm looking forward to it, but we got to do it. I think
Oh,
it'll
yeah,
be.
absolutely have to do it. I did it 3 times, 3 years in a row, and then haven't done it since.
Yep. So the begging has finally paid off.
What word would an associate on one of your matters use to describe you?
Respectful.
Well, those are all terrific answers. This has been a lot of fun. I appreciate you agreeing to do this, and I've really enjoyed it.
Same here. Thank you, Barry.